Hello and welcome to this very special program. The Shriram Group is one of the largest and one of the oldest financial groups in the country. It operates one of the largest non-bank financial companies, Shriram Finance. It operates a life insurance company, a general insurance company, among many other businesses. It also completes, by the way, 50 years in existence this year, and it is celebrating that. I'm Prashant Nair, and I'm in Chennai to speak with the top leaders at the group about the journey so far over the last 50 years and the vision they have for the next 50. And we will do this in two parts. To begin with, I have the founder of the group, Mr. R. Tyagarajan, with me to take the conversation forward. Mr. Tyagarajan, great to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Sir, 50 years, it's been such a long journey. It's one of the largest financial groups by asset size. When you started the company, or through the journey over the last 50 years, did you think that the group will be the size of what it is today?
No, I don't think I had any ideas as to how large it will be at the end of 20 years or 30 years. That was not my preoccupation. I have always been trying to do things the efficient and the socially beneficial way, whatever I was doing. Whether I was working for a new insurance company or for a bank with whom I was working for some time, the focus was on what I could do efficiently, better, cost effective, and therefore beneficial to the community and incidentally to my employer. My employer was not the focus, the community had been the focus with me. Therefore, the idea or the vision was never to look at what we are going to be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years back.
You started various businesses over...
What I did was support people who had an idea, a business idea, who were very keen that they should develop that idea into a business enterprise. But anyone with an idea, anyone with an entrepreneurial inclination and capability deserved support.
Right.
To the extent possible, we were supported. Right. My only regret was we did not have enough funds, enough financial strength to support quite a few of them till they reached a level of prosperity.
Right.
So some of the things the initiatives that we had supported initially, they did well quite later on, not when we were involved with it. But subsequently, when they could get better financial support from some international entity or the other, it started doing extremely well. So in that sense, I would say our activity has been mostly to support entrepreneurial initiatives rather than create newer enterprises. That was not the objective.
So even your group is unique because the way you set it up in terms of the ownership of the group, and that is the first thing that many people point to. Employees own a large chunk of the business. You stepped aside. You gave away your holding in the company to the trust. What was the thinking behind that?
As I said, it's a question of being fair to people who are working very hard.
Right.
They are entitled to a share of whatever prosperity that is being created because of their contribution.
Right.
So we decided that people who are contributing, who are key to the success of the organization, they should be part owners of the organization. That was the idea behind this creation of this trust, because we talked about it as early as even before 2019, 1985. I used to talk to our people that you are partners. People who are contributing to an enterprise's growth are partners of the organization. Later on, it was given a concrete and a legal shape. But the inclination to share what is being created with people who have helped in creating or who have been mainly instrumental in the creation of the enterprise, that it has to be shared with them was a thought which has been there all along. Even when we were very small, we thought in terms of sharing it with people who are developing it, who are contributing. It's not for the view to motivate them to do better or anything like that. Sense of fairness. That's all.
You have, Mr. Tyagarajan, if I may, you have two sons, right? In any other organization, in any other setup, I mean, it's not even a question in terms of who the shareholding or the ownership will actually pass on to. Not here. So I just want to press on that point for 1 minute more.
I see. You see, my son, first son, the elder son, by the time he completed his education, I think Shriram was a big organization.
Right.
We had about 3 or 4 listed entities by that time.
Right.
And we had an employee strength of almost 20,000. You can't bring into this setup a person who is 22 or 23 years old and who did not know much about this organization and all that. It would have been unfair to that boy also to put such a big load on him. And secondly, it could be a bit demotivating for people who are creating it. Because the perception, whether it is valid or not, the perception would be this person who comes in as the son of the promoter or one of the promoters, he will get a preferential treatment and you may not get a fair deal is something which people will feel.
But you would agree that is seen as perfectly normal. I mean, we've seen that over and over and over again in so many organizations.
That is why we felt that we will not bring them into this organization. We wouldn't mind giving them, as we were giving some support to their entrepreneurial initiatives if they had any. But beyond that, we did not want to bring them into, I did not want to bring them into an enterprise which is being built by so many people.
If they were interested, would it have been open?
No, I would have said you can do something else.
Okay.
If you are interested in entrepreneurship, be an entrepreneur. It need not have to be by coming into the Shriram Group. So that way we were, right from the beginning we were clear that we will not bring our sons and daughters and in-laws and all that into the business. And that was when we were very, very small. At 4 or 5 lakhs company itself, we said, because I had 2 or 3 other people who were also with me.
Right.
So if I bring my sons, they will have to bring in their sons, daughters, and the whole place will only be full of family people.
Right.
And outsiders may feel it's a family enterprise.
Right.
They may not be inclined, they will not be attracted to join the institution.
So the country, we are seeing a boom in people trying to build businesses, entrepreneurship, right? I mean, like no other time in the past. As someone who's built a group over the last many, many decades, what are the top 2 or 3 learnings, really fundamental learnings that you would like to tell youngsters, younger people?
The expectation from an entrepreneur by the society is extremely unrealistic. People think that if people who have started any business, they should be making profits all the time. If they are efficient, they should be making profit. If they are losing money, they are inefficient is the conclusion, which is not valid, but invariably the entire society, including your bankers, they feel that if there is a failure, then the man running the business is responsible for the failure. Without realizing the probability of success in new enterprises itself is so low.
But has that not changed a little bit over the last many years?
No, it hasn't changed. Attitude has not changed. Lot of money has come in. International money has come in, and therefore it has also promoted from Indian money also into it. So people think that entrepreneurship will succeed. This is a passing phase. In another 5 or 6 years' time, people will become realistic enough to not to support every new enterprise. If they support an enterprise, they will support it till the end, till it reaches a stage of success. But merely hoping immediately that it will create a lot of money is something which is an attitude which will change in the light of experiences that is now coming into the picture today. Many enterprises about which people had very high hopes, they are now more or less closing down. Internationally, not only in India. There is so much of wealth around in the world elsewhere, may not be in this country, that people want to invest something and make some money. But it is not possible to do it by supporting entrepreneurship the way, without the realization that the probability of success of any enterprise is low, number one. And if it has to succeed, you have to be very patient in supporting them.
Mr. Tyagarajan, a pleasure speaking with you, sir. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking to you. I mean, you're a hard man to get on camera. So, it's my pleasure to speak to you, and wishing you all the best of luck, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.